Hey, we got through it without laughing. That was really
I'd
good.
laugh at you myself.
So, welcome everybody to the Gaming Grounds Network. And here we are again for another Town Hall episode. As always, I think we have a full boat this week. Morgs, myself.
Mufflingo?
Well, there's somebody. Who is that?
My finger.
Oh, God. Waxy's here. He's playing right now, so he'll probably be distracted half the time.
Probably.
Mindless are
Also going to be distracted.
also distracted human being. Derp Tank,
Hi,
Derp
how are you?
Poked, and all his other Derp alter egos.
You know it.
And last but not least, the quietest and most skinnable of all the group. Come say hi to everybody, Kyle.
Hi.
All right, there he is.
That's one way to do it.
So, yeah. So we're just going to talk about another wonderful edition of Town Hall. So for those of you who have decided that this is our first one, good luck. But town halls are all of us just getting together. It's very unstructured. We just kind of go where the conversation takes us, and it's just a fun half an hour, 45-minute to an hour talk. And today we have a couple topics that I think we want to touch on, but wherever it goes from there, it's going to go. So enjoy yourself, and thanks for listening.
My roommate's cooking pizza rolls.
Welcome to Town Hall Tuesday.
Oh, is that what we're calling it? Town Hall
Nothing
Tuesday?
gets
Yeah, I
done.
think that's the name.
Okay, I like it.
All right, we'll take it. But here, so first thing I want to talk about, Town Hall, just a little update on our World of Warcraft adventures in WoW Classic. We are still grinding. I know you guys will be upset to know none of us are level 60, nor even that close to level 60 yet.
I mean,
Good old classic things.
We are.
last time we recorded a podcast, I was level 9.
Yeah,
I'm
so,
level 37, so 37?
yeah.
I'm almost level 40. I'm getting there.
Oh, game nerds.
35.
So we had a few
There's
people.
Kyle with like a level 5.
We got a few
Yeah,
people
multiple
going
accounts.
into.
You want to talk about multiple accounts?
Yeah.
Sorry.
We got a few people getting into the Mount territory. We're starting to run Scarlet Monastery. Kyle is making alts left and right to advance his skinning and alchemy, and I guess make enough money to take over Molten Core. Not quite sure, but that's his prerogative, and we respect him for it. Kyle, this
Oh, we
is
don't.
this is a safe place.
I actually think he's been pretty good with the skinning recently.
That's pretty solid. So I'll
I don't
take
even
it.
know what skinning is.
You
But
just focus on that healer.
yeah, looking for a healer. So, what's the name of our server? Ashkandi. Is that what
Ashkandi.
Yeah.
Ashkande.
Ashkan, yeah.
So if
Come
you
join our
want to,
guild.
yeah, if you want to game and guild with us, we're the Fellers Guild on Ashkandi. You can ask any of us. We all go by our real names or our gaming names, so that works. You can be able to find us, and we would look forward to having you with us, and I respect that. So, in interesting news, I don't know if you guys saw this, but they did an update today about WoW Classic and retail. But of course, we don't play retail, so it doesn't really matter as much anymore to that. But for WoW Classic, since so many people are playing still, and just the amount of just man hours that have gone into it and playing that the people have done, they're just leveling so incredibly fast, and they're getting to some of the content that I guess they were expecting a lot more people to get to a lot later. But they see that people are just so hungry for this content and want to just stay involved in Classic that they're kind of breaking away a little bit from their Phase 2 release and actually gonna release Dire Maul earlier. And so that's just the dungeon that you're going to be able to raid earlier and kind of just play in before Phase 2 comes out, before Phase 2 comes out, which will be very interesting.
But is that a raid or just a dungeon?
uh,
I don't know. I mean,
I-
I have no idea.
dude, it's been so long. I think it's a dungeon. I'm
Like
pretty
a level
sure,
60 dungeon?
I'm gonna just, before I give you any fake information here.
Fake news.
Yeah. We probably should have looked this up beforehand.
Yeah, like until you said that, I was pretty like I was pretty convinced because I think I remember. I think it's like a level like 45 to like 55 dungeon, and I think that's what you do there. Yes, it is. All right, I just looked it up. It's an ancient night elf city turned to ruins, located in Feralis, split into 3 different zones. It's overrun by orc tribes, ghosts of its prior inhabitants, and elementals. So we'll be going in there, and then so we'll be going in there pretty soon. So probably by the time this stuff drops in like 2 weeks, I think that's what they said. We'll be in there, so that'll be pretty interesting.
Hope there's some good
And-
swords.
Yeah.
There's
There's
a
some
good
pretty
wand or
cool
so.
stuff in there, and then bosses spawn in the middle of the arena, offering random world drops. Farming these NPCs has proven to be a popular way to get the Orb of Deception. People love this thing because you can transform into a member of the opposing faction, not fraction, something.
I'm guessing that's a trinket.
Yeah,
2
it's a
over
thing,
3.
so that's pretty good.
What?
And
What are you
and
talking
yeah,
about?
oh, because I said fraction instead of faction.
Oh,
Oh my god.
God, that
So
joke was so bad.
So there's a lot of stuff that goes on in that. It's got a lot of good stuff. Just doing a quick look right here. It's got a really good sword. So you and
Alright.
Emma,
Oh boy.
you and Emma are going to be fighting over it. It's called the Fiendish Machete. It does 74 to 112 damage.
Like,
Okay, I need that.
wh-
Like,
what
right
about
now.
like hunter items?
Yeah, we don't care
38
about
damage
those.
a second.
I do.
And it does 30. It gives you 36 additional attack power when fighting any elemental enemy. So that's just a quick look there. Got some good plate armor for me. It's got paladin stuff, so that's pretty cool.
This sounds useless.
Yeah, pretty. I agree.
It's got mail stuff. Dude, this is just what I'm doing. Literally, I'm just going in the quickest way possible through this list. Because I'm
Just
sure
keep going
people-
until you saw something about a mage.
All right,
My
here you
sheepy
go.
sheeps to power up.
Here, they got a ring for mage that puts up 10 stamina and gives you 6 health every 5 seconds, and 6 mana
Not
every
mage.
5. I meant
Okay.
the other one. This other one's 10 intellect and it does 6 mana every 5 seconds.
I will enjoy that one. That's for sure.
It's got tons of leather. It's got look, here you go. Who's the complaining hunter over there? It's got a
Oh,
bow. Got a bow. Does 30
Okay.
damage a second, 3 agility, and it improves your hit
Okay.
chance by 1% by just having it on there. You feel
So
better
what's the
now?
There you go.
You said 30 DPS?
Yeah, 30 damage
That's
is
wild. My boat is 16 right now.
yeah. So this one does.
So that's definitely going to be
This one
a
does 30.
crazy grind right there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we're gonna be running that nonstop.
yeah. So looks like it's a pretty
Lame.
big one. Plus the
Yes, you are.
I mean, it's got 2 trinkets in there that drop. One increases your chances to dodge an attack, so that's another good one.
It's good for
And
assassin.
There's a talisman in there that's a trinket that restores 11 mana every 5 seconds. So
I like that one.
lots of good stuff in there for everybody. The list is like there's like 100 things you can get, plus the arena, which drops any random world drop. So that's huge.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that'll be fun to explore. There's there's a east, a north, and a west. So it's got to be a huge ass instance. So that'll be interesting. That'll be fun. So that was the news on World of Warcraft. No other crazy news I'm sure that's going on that I've seen or I heard. Anything you guys have heard or anything?
About
For
WoW?
WoW,
Not
I
a
haven't-
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm too addicted to just playing to actually look something up.
There's
Fair.
nothing wrong with that. I mean, I can definitely agree with you. I did break my addiction for a little bit today on your guys' recommendation. So Waxy and Mindless. I played Borderlands. I jumped right into Borderlands 2.
Great game.
I didn't do the pre-sequel because you
Yeah, well,
guys
it's
said
Don't.
not worth it.
it wasn't
Don't.
worth
Not
it.
worth it. Do not play it.
We don't
So-
talk about that game.
Yeah.
That game doesn't exist.
And then
But anyway, what are your first impressions on Borderlands 2?
I wasn't gonna think I was gonna like it. But once I
Why
picked
not?
I mean, so you get up there and you do the pick your vault hunter, and I love Zero. Like he seemed
Yeah,
like an
Zero's
awesome,
great.
but like I know it's not gonna be like my play style on my initial playthrough, so that was like fuck. Like, all right, like let me play. But I know you guys were talking about the Necromancer, so I picked
Definitely.
her.
Yeah, there's that one tree that you should go down. It's like stacks. Like every time you don't reload, you get a stack.
Mhm.
And then I think it does something like increases your fire rate, I think, and like 2 other things. And it's just like you're doing insane damage just running through
Yeah, it's
people.
really good.
It's so much fun to play. And then your robot is just like absolutely fucking on people.
And that's what I wanted to talk about. So, like the first 5 levels when I didn't have the robot, I was like, because you can't work on your talent tree till 5. So I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Which
So
in the
I'm
new
just
one they
playing.
changed that to 2.
So-
Oh, really? Too. Damn.
Yeah, as soon as you level up, you
Okay.
get it.
And
Nice.
then, so I was playing through it, and then of course, as soon as I got to unleash that robot, Deathbot or whatever the fuck they call it, it was incredible. It like that was the single-handed like turning point in that game. I was like, all right, this could be fun.
It is
I
fun.
don't understand the loot table like at all.
What do you
Just
mean?
for like, I know from like people playing it, like I've seen on Twitch and stuff, playing it before. I know that like certain bosses drop certain like guns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like I understand the quality drop kind of thing because it's the same as WoW. Like orange is legendary and working its way down to white. But I don't know when to kill, like what bosses drop what. So I don't know who I should be killing, or if I should just be going, if I should just be going through the story, or
You should just be
It's
going through the story.
Kind of
and-
hard to farm bosses on that game because you have to actually like log out and log back in for them to respawn.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a pain. People don't really farm bosses too much in that game until end game.
right?
Yeah.
Because
I
if you're
would just
level
play
like 20
through.
and you kill a boss, he's gonna drop a level 20 gun. But if you're level 60, he'll drop that same gun but level 60.
Right. Okay. All right. That's good to know. And then just I know that it said when you play with other people you get better drops. Is that like them just trying to get people to play together, or is that actually like a true fact?
I actually
I think
never
they're
heard
just
that.
more drops. I don't think it's better drops.
Well, the difficulty is ramped up the more people that you have, and the higher level that they are.
Yeah, so I
So
think the
I would
weapons are just a little
assume-
higher, like damage and stuff like that, but not necessarily that much greater.
So I guess you get a chance on more items because you're playing with more people, which adds more like higher level people and more
Yeah.
bosses.
Exactly.
I-
More
I-
enemies to kill,
yeah.
more loot to get. Pretty
So
much.
I guess on that end of things, it works out. But all right. But like I said, for me, it ended up being pretty fun. It was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. So I gotta thank you guys. And if you haven't played it, I'm only level 15, but I highly recommend it. It's definitely extremely fun and something you should consider. Are there any other games that you guys are playing that's not WoW that you really like to play?
Yeah, it's
Well-
a
Rocket
running
League.
joke.
We were playing Borderlands 3, but that didn't last too long because we just kept playing WoW instead.
Yeah, we're kind of too addicted to this. So when
Yeah,
the addiction
but-
died down to this, we'll play that.
Yeah, but Borderlands 3 is absolutely amazing.
It is really good.
Yeah, it's just a continuation of Borderlands 2. It kind of feels like the style of how the game plays.
It's
Obviously,
more
the story is
polished.
completely different. Yeah, definitely more polished. I mean, it's 8-year difference between games, right?
Oh my god, couple
Yeah.
years.
So like it just looks so good, and it plays really good. The guns, they feel nice when you shoot them. I know they actually just put an update out to balance the game out and make the gun stronger and make the enemies like a little weaker. So that was a nice little update.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
So
I think Zane's a lot stronger now.
Yeah, they buffed some characters. I don't know what the exact patch notes were, but they did a lot to the game like 2 weeks after it came out, which was pretty awesome.
are they
Zane's
like?
really weak?
Is it like the same hunters, like the same vault hunters, or are they different?
No, they're
people?
different.
Oh, okay.
So the way it works is like the vault hunters from the previous game are going to be like the main NPCs in the next game. So like all the
okay.
vault hunters from Borderlands 2 are like the NPCs that tell you where to go in Borderlands 3.
Oh, okay. So there's a whole new group of vault hunters.
Yeah, every game you get a whole new I think you start out with 4. I know there's 6 in Borderlands 2.
I think it was more than that.
No, there's the 4 base, and then they added Necromancer
And they
and
had 3?
Psycho.
They added Psycho. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one additional DLC that came out, but it's $15, and
Oh,
apparently
that was actually free if you It was free for a while. It branches Borderlands 2 to Borderlands 3, like
I
the
was gonna
story.
say, like I was reading it and it said it like connected the two stories together a little bit better.
Yeah, me and Mindless played it a little bit, but we were like too excited for Borderlands 3, and it just like wasn't cutting it for us.
right.
So we played like halfway through it, I think.
Okay.
We got pretty far. Actually, I think
Yeah,
we
I think
we beat one playthrough.
No, we never beat that.
Wait, what are we talking
The
about?
DLC. Remember the DLC, the free DLC that came
Oh
out?
yeah, no, we didn't do that.
Yeah, we didn't beat that. We were like halfway through it.
All right. Well, it's not bad, and if I stay addicted to Borderlands 2, I probably will go out and grab Borderlands 3. So we'll see how that goes.
If you do get it, we could all start fresh and play together.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. Well, if you guys have Borderlands 2 or the Handsome Jack collection, come and join in with me. Well, like I said, I'm only level like 12, so
That's not bad. How far did you get? Do you know like what area you're in? Are you in like that first snow area still?
nah, I'm doing like quests outside of like Sanctuary right now.
Oh, Sanctuary.
So like a little bit further than when they tried to like put Sanctuary in the air and it didn't work.
Yeah, what is the current state of Sanctuary in your playthrough?
It's still got the dome and the Hyperion company's still shooting
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, just wait to see what happens. Don't ruin it for a manager.
Everyone dies.
Clearly, something happens now.
And then-
Spoiler alert.
And then your vault hunter wakes up and it was all a dream, right?
Yeah. He
That would
actually
be
already found the
terrible.
vault.
Actually, worst game ever.
So but yeah, so that's been my addiction. Really looking forward to it. You guys are addicted to Borderlands 3 right now. Derp, is there any games that like you always go back to and enjoy, or
I mean, good old CS:GO every once in a while now. It used to be all the time, but
really you play it? You used to play it pretty consistently.
oh yeah, almost pretty much every day. Come home from
no
work,
kidding.
play CS:GO.
Oh wow,
Mhm.
Hello?
that's awesome.
Did you ever get into that like gambling stuff that they had on there?
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, how did that
Yeah.
work? What was it? Like, it's
it
for
was
like the
interesting.
knives and stuff,
Same thing
right?
as Rocket League.
Yeah. So I mean, like, there's multiple sites. Guzzy and I talked about this on our podcast.
Hitbox, check it out.
Yeah,
Thursdays.
shout out Hitbox. But pretty much it's like some things where you open a box and you get what you get, whatever. I don't know if that's too much of gambling, but they still have those sites. And there's others that were pretty much you go 1v1 against a guy, flip a coin, and whoever gets it gets it. That was one kind of a deal. So you put a value of skins in almost equal to each other, and then you flip a coin, and whoever wins all the skins. Then
Kinda
there
like
was
So it's like racing for pink slips, but you're
kind
doing
of
it
yeah. If you lose it all. If you win, then you win whatever you put in
right.
and whatever they put in. Most sites would take like maybe 5-10% of whatever, so they would take like 1 or 2 skins that were of value to 10% or whatever it was. Each site varies. Then there was also a kind of like a community one, so to say. So everyone on the site could throw in whatever they wanted, and everyone was involved in that one, and it would spin, and it would either be black, red, green, or and whatever you kind of put your money on, you get it. Kind of like what is that? It's not blackjack. It's roulette. Yeah, it was pretty much roulette with skins. That was one of them. And then the other one that Guzzy and I did a lot was you put in a value of skins, and then they kind of
Jackpot.
it was called jackpot. So you put in a value of skins, and once the timer goes down, it spins on everyone who put any amount of skins in. It would spin, and if it landed on your character, you would win. And
The more you put in, the better. chance.
exactly. The more you put in, the more chance that you got. So you would have like 5 images of your face or whatever on the roulette spinning wheel, rather than the person who put in like 20 cents and only has 1, if that. So it was kind of cool. It was a fun little way to kind of throw away your trash skins that you didn't want and couldn't really do anything with.
And then there was CSGO Lounge, which is
betting on like the pro matches and whatnot.
That's true. I forgot
Which was
about that.
also very fun. Like that's kind of how you built up your skin library. You just put a couple in, bet a safe bet, hopefully you win, and then you just start getting more skins and you just go at it.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
Yeah, me and Guzzy's show where we talk about the esports industry. Our next episode, I think we're going to talk about like gambling on esports and where it is, how like where it's been and where it's going to go. So that'd be a good place to go more into detail with it. And if any of you guys want to jump in and talk about any experiences like that, whether it's regular gambling or gambling in the esports, I'm sure we'll be happy to have you and hear some stories along the way.
Don't run up your parents' credit card.
That's for true.
I heard there were people that do the gambling on CS:GO and like not even play. They like just did the gambling part.
Oh, absolutely.
Bro, it's so easy to get addicted on that stuff. So easy. I was spending like $100 a week just on opening cases, and then like I would just throw them all in the jackpot. It was ridiculous.
Thankfully, I never did that.
Great, yeah.
I hit like one big jackpot from like trash skins. I think I had to put like 60 cents in and won like $30 worth of skins or something like that. And
That's
just
not
from
bad.
that. Yeah, from that I just kind of used those skins and bet on like pro matches and won and then lost and won and just kind
That's
of built up
gambling.
from there. Exactly. Yeah.
Good old traditional gambling.
Exactly. It was so good.
What are like the popular teams for CS:GO? Like I don't really watch CS:GO.
Oh. Kyle. You
Like,
want to go first?
Who's like the powerhouse team?
Astralis, Liquid, Evil Geniuses, Navi, MIBR.
He can run down the fucking list quick.
Yeah, I don't have that much time. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, favorite teams, mine is Liquid at the moment.
Evil Genius.
Yeah.
But you know, if you want to hear more about CS:GO, go listen to the Hitbox podcast.
Cal
Yeah.
Hitbox.
So there you go. I'll take it. Would that be interesting? Yeah. So we'll definitely watch. So just for you listeners too, like our independent shows, we don't listen to them beforehand. So
We don't listen to any shows
They're-
beforehand.
so they're pretty much a surprise to us while we're listening, just as much as it is for you. So if you have if someone says anything that really catches your interest or anything like that, and you don't think any of us heard it, please reach out to us on Twitter, and and we'll discuss it on there and all that stuff. It's always interesting to keep hearing what everybody else thinks, with what our shows are doing and everything. But that was really cool. So I had no idea about that whole thing about CS:GO. I mean, you always see, it blowing up on like Twitter and all that other crap. And like Twitch and all that saying like blade giveaway and all this stuff or knife something or other. So it's
Yeah,
actually
it's a knife.
Yeah, so at least now it kind of makes a little bit more sense to me that it's pretty much just how you can gamble in CS:GO. So Kyle, is that your like go-to game when you're not playing WoW too?
No. It used to be. I don't game that much anymore.
Okay,
As much,
well,
I should say.
if you had to pick another game that wasn't WoW, what game would?
Good thing we're on a gaming podcast.
Right. Well, like I
Got
used to
him.
game a shit ton more, but life kicks in. I don't know. Maybe it goes back to just playing some PS4 games. Honestly, like I watch games more than I play games, I feel like.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people now that are like that, like gamers that watch games and just don't have the time to play it. They can just put it on in the background and soak up everything. That's how I did with like Spider-Man. Like I didn't buy Spider-Man, and that's how I did it. But I know
Right.
someone's trying to chime in, so I'll let you go with it.
Yeah, I will say I love watching games, like sometimes more than playing them. Like I don't know why though. It's like weird watching someone else play a video game, but it's like, like chill, like you don't have to do anything. It's like the lazy way of playing video games, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good way to put it. But I don't play football anymore, but I love watching football.
Exactly. That's like it's like the same thing. Like you want to watch like the best of the best on your favorite games, which is exactly what like football is.
Right.
Just going back to what you'd asked me, I honestly, and I think Naylor can also agree, like every now and then we'll just start a Minecraft world and just roll with it.
Dude, that's
Just
another
'cause we got
thing, and
into that stuff.
I never got into, but I know people have so much fun doing it.
Oh, we're making a Minecraft server then. You need to experience Minecraft.
I don't know. Just never.
You can only play Minecraft if you have mods, honestly. It gets boring without mods.
I mean, there is a new mod that just came out. It's called RL Craft. It's supposed to be like really hardcore, like pretty cool actually. guys should look it up if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, let's play it, Naylor.
I'm down.
I'm looking for something here and I can't find it.
Did you guys
But-
ever play? What was the Sky one?
Skyblock. Oh my
Factory-
god,
Skyblock,
Dude.
yeah.
Skyblock in general was one of the best things that Minecraft has ever done, and then Sky Factory mods make it even better.
So me and Andrew were trying to play Skyblock, and we just couldn't find it because we were playing on Xbox, and
Xbox
like
It's
it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist on Xbox.
Yeah, we had
Literally
to like
everything's on
create it
PC.
ourselves, and we created it and then never played it.
Right.
That's
So-
kind of ouch.
So what is it? Like I don't even know what that
Alright,
is.
so like it's like you start out with like a minimal amount of things. Like you're on what is it like 3?
You're on top
by
of a
3
tree
blocks,
with
right?
like one grass block, essentially, depending on which version. Like the modded versions are literally a tree on top of a grass block, and that's it. And then from there, you have to take down the tree and make a wood platform, and then plant the tree again, and constantly keep building your island out like that.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's like starting with literally the bare minimum.
And then you make like an entire island out of it.
Yeah,
right,
you have to
because
like
you start looting shit out of the stuff you get. Or if you play on some servers where there's a community, you can go and buy stuff from a store and whatnot.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty creative. I guess you gotta. I mean, I don't think I have the right like brain, and I think that's why it just never caught my like. Just not that creative. As much as I would love to be, just not that creative. But we haven't heard from Mindless in a while.
yeah,
Mindless.
he's really quiet today.
I know he's a little out of his element with this whole quiet
I'm
stuff.
just chilling over here, just listening to this great podcast.
Just taking everything in.
I guess so. All right. But going back to games that we used to play or that we used to go to, I know I sunk an incredible amount of time into Destiny, more so in the first one than I did the second one. I did everything. I was the top level, had all the great gear, like anything that could have been done in that game, I did it, and I wasted my life and all my clan members' lives while we played, and it was worth every single second of it. And now, Destiny 2, a little less fun for me, a little less interesting. Activision got really involved in it, it seemed, and it became release this game, get this stuff out as soon as possible. We'll polish it later. At least that's how it came up in like my head, and it just kind of wasn't as fun for me anymore. But for those of you who don't know and don't play, Destiny, they bought themselves out of their contract with Activision. So now they're a publisher that literally controls the fate of their game by themselves now. They don't have to worry about a bigger company trying to tell them how to run it or what to make or control the story, which is good. But that game's had a lot of issues from the very beginning. In the very first Destiny, it had a really interesting story and everything like that it was planned to come out with, but somebody leaked the entire story, and it was such a good story. So like instead of releasing the game like that, having a story that was already leaked out, what they did was they just scrapped it and just kind of like threw together like a bare bones story, and then they gave you the loot or they gave you the lore through like these Grimoire cards that you just read up on and stuff. But come on, dude, how many times do you guys go into a game that has like all the information underneath it telling you about something or other and you just don't read it? Like, let's be honest here.
Who reads while playing video games?
Yeah, right. Like, have you ever got like anything that was in there, or they're like, oh, like here's a thing that tells you a little bit more about this character, and you just sat there and you read every single thing about it?
I don't think anyone's ever done that ever.
No. Like I've even considered doing it, like when I was playing the Mass Effect games where, they have their story written out and it happens right in front of you. But like the backstory of like secondary and back end characters you can learn a lot of. And they talked about the ships and the planets and everything. And I was like, oh man, like this lore is so good. Like I should read up on all this. And then I sat there and I was like, no, I'd rather just play. Like I'm not doing
I ain't about reading.
Yeah, just learn as you play is kind of how I play like every video game. I'm like, wait, I should have been doing this like from the beginning.
Right.
You find out, you're like, wow, like.
Yeah,
But I feel like most people are like that though.
Right. Oh, yeah, and it makes sense like when you think about it, because like why would you do this extra stuff when the game's going to be telling you anyway? But that's how games are built now. It seems, where it's like, all right, I'm going to tell you what's happening, and you just follow along for this journey and just hit the buttons when I tell you to. But Destiny tried it the other way, where it was like, oh, you wanted to learn about this like character or this boss you just beat, or why he's so important, or what's so crazy about it, that you had to read these cards, and that became the problem where people didn't want to read the cards. It was pointless. So you kind of had a lot of people that were so confused, like, what the hell is going on with the story? Why does this not make sense? And that stayed through till the end. Now, granted, there was a lot of like hardcore players who absolutely loved it and knew every single thing about everything. And they were fine. They stuck to themselves and hung out in basements and did whatever they did. But Destiny 2 came out. There's a lot of hope for it. They were backed by Activision. They had a lot of good talk and a lot of good story. But then you played it, and it was like wallpaper over an old game. And
So did it just feel like the first one?
so it felt like the first one, but not the great stuff that like you loved about it. Because by the end of Destiny 1, by the end of its life cycle, they had it figured out. Like everything was the way it was going, the way it should have been from the beginning. And then they focused all their resources on Destiny 2. And they you came back into Destiny 2, and you were like, oh, here we go again. Like, we got to start this process all over. And the more that you played it, the more I think they focused on their roadmap, and they're like, this is the structure that we're going through. Like, this is how it's going to be. And it wasn't what the players wanted. So they tried here and there to kind of help with what the players wanted, but they were like, we're sticking to this roadmap. And I don't know if that was with Bungie, what they were doing, or what, Activision was telling them to do. But that's definitely something we're going to find out soon with Bungie releasing all their own expansions and updates and content drops. So we'll see. It'll be definitely very interesting to find out.
Was like Destiny? Was it like too grindy? Like I've never played either of them. So like what made the second one like so bad?
I'm gonna be honest. I thought the second one was better than the first one, just because I guess maybe I was playing with a friend, and like we were going through the story, and it's also not my kind of game. Like it felt a little bit like Halo and Call of Duty, but it's not also like my go-to version. Like it's slow and then it's fast and then it's slow and like it's all over the place. But then I don't know, like there's certain parts like the grindiness, like you have to grind for gear, just like World of Warcraft. Like you're constantly like doing a dungeon and doing a quest, and you redo them to get other gear and get other pieces of information and whatnot. Like you're constantly doing stuff like that. I never really paid attention to the story because I felt like it was all over the place, no matter what it was.
Right.
But like the grindiness, like you could do a dungeon 10 times and still not get that gear.
Right.
Oh, it's like the drop rates are really bad.
Yeah, so it's kind of like if you combine like Call of Duty, Halo, the drop rates of like WoW and like Borderlands, where it's like a loot and shoot and just a grind, where there's like good gear that you can get, but if you wanted the best gear, you had to work for it, and then you could get that gear, but it didn't have the stats that you wanted, so you could like roll through. And when Destiny 2 came out, they were like, there's no more like god rolls. Like you can't run something 100 times and get that best one. Like if you get this set of armor, this is your set of armor, and this is what it comes with, no matter who gets it or when you get it. And then because I guess because the whole group was so used to it being like, you want to be the best, you got to get the best stuff. They got really mad about it, and everything really stunk for them. And then eventually they fixed it, where now there's god tiers back and everything, so you could be now the best of the best with the best gear. And that coming back really brought some interest back in the fan base. But they also have a new expansion that just came out last week or 2 weeks ago, either one of those. And then the new raid also just came out, which was really good. But I have to step away from the computer for 2 minutes really quick. I I have something going on outside. I got to figure out what it is.
I'm gonna take control of this Destiny stuff.
Yeah,
Then.
yeah.
So,
So
like-
yeah, and I'll jump right in after.
Right. The way I feel with Destiny is
Wait, before you start, you played both of them or just 2?
I played 1 when it came out because everybody's like, "Oh, this is the next best game. It's the next Call of Duty. Like, it's gonna be so great." Blah blah blah. And I did it, and I had my friends playing it, but I was just like, "This is like not my kind of game. Like, this is actually kind of boring." The reason why I got Destiny 2 is because I was playing with a friend on PS4, and he's like, "Yeah, man, we need a new game. Like, Fortnite's not doing it anymore." And I was like, "All right, well, Destiny 2 is the free game of the month. You want to try it?" And he said, "Yeah." And like half the time, these free games of the month like turn out to be like some of the best games you play. Now they're not like super addicting, but like they're some of the better games for whatever reason. So like we started playing it, and like it wasn't the full game. It was like kind of how World of Warcraft is. Like you can get up to level 20 without paying. We got up to level 20, and then it's like, oh well, you can buy the expansion pack for like $60 and get all the new stuff. And then you can get up to like level 60 and get all this gear and whatnot. So like Destiny
It's like-
was on the trend with that stuff, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, well, here I am, level 20. I've done everything. I might not have the best gear, but I'm sitting here doing the same dungeon over and over again, and it's kind of redundant. But the ideas behind it, honestly, were kind of fun.
So pretty much it was just too repetitive for you to like keep playing.
A little bit, and I kind of feel the same way about World of Warcraft, honestly. Like, I feel like it is getting redundant. That's why I don't dungeon with you guys all the time, because it's just like I'm doing the same thing over and over again. But like
Yeah,
every
I
game
guess-
has that kind of aspect, right? Like you can look at Call of Duty and like you just play online. You can be in the same lobby for 10 games in a row, or you can just get on every day and you're playing the same maps over and over again.
I mean, every multiplayer or single player game has redundancies. You're
Right.
not going to get away with that with
Right.
anything.
Exactly. It's just Destiny, I think, fell very hard to being overly redundant and not being able to implement enough change.
Yeah, I mean, I can't touch on it too much since I've never really played it, but I have got that feeling of a game feeling really repetitive and then not wanting to play it. But for me personally, I'll like those feelings go away pretty quickly, and then I like get back in the game. Like I know when I was playing WoW the other day, I was like super bored, but then I got on today and it's like none of that even happened, and I'm like super into it again.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
for
what I've been.
I guess it also varies person to person, like how bored you could get in a game,
that's true.
like how quickly a game bores. I
Sometimes
don't
you
know.
just need
Or-
like a solid week break, though.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true too. Breaks are always good when gaming or switching up your game.
Yeah,
I
because
know-
like for Rocket League for me, I got super bored of it and didn't play it for like a week, and then like couldn't put it down.
Yeah. See, me and Andrew, we play Xbox a lot together. So we were actually pretty, like, I guess I would say, like, in an Xbox, like, slump. Like, no game was, like, really interesting to us.
It happens every year, like right
Yeah.
before October, around the October
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Like, end of summer and into, like, September, October area when there's, like, no new games out yet. It's, like, that weird, like, gray area of video games where there's just, like, nothing to play and you're just playing the same things
Yeah,
over
it's
and over
awful.
again. Yeah. It could get really bad. But luckily, a lot of new games are coming out soon. So
Right, but I mean, it's like you're saying, it's every year because all the new games come out near the holidays or they come out in the summer.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna be honest, like I know Destiny's a exclusive, or no, it's not an exclusive, is it? Someone was
Mm,
exclusive with it.
I thought
forget.
Destiny 1 was.
There was something that was
Or-
exclusive with it.
I think
But,
Xbox
like-
just got everything first.
Right. Like
I don't know.
I don't mind the ideas of it being exclusive or anything being exclusive. But like if you're gonna make it exclusive, it's better be like one of the best games in the world. Like half of these games aren't really, and again, maybe it's because we're older, but like half of these games aren't living up to the hype anymore, I feel like. Like you see all this E3 stuff about it, and it's like, oh my god, this is awesome, and then it comes out a year later, and you're like, dude, this is terrible.
Yeah, that's a lot of games do that. Like Cyberpunk looks really good, but is it going to be good?
yeah,
Actually, that might
who
be one that's
knows?
probably going to be good.
Is Cyberpunk the one with Keanu?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard things, but I don't.
but that's just like I haven't looked too much into that game. Is it just like a single player type game?
I
or
don't know,
is,
but
like,
it looks fire.
Yeah,
I
I
feel like
just
it's gonna.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
I mean, it was the people that made The Witcher. It's just more of a future version of it. So,
if it's gonna be multiplayer, I feel like they're gonna do a shit job at it, honestly. Because people who made Witcher never made a multiplayer. If actually, I don't know if that's true, but The Witcher was not multiplayer. So Witcher was a great game, but I feel like they're gonna pull a Fallout 76. Let's just say that.
I
They're
hope
gonna
not.
try to implement a multiplayer in a single player game, and it's just going to.
Yeah, but they did Fallout 76
Ah.
poorly. They made it in like a MMO kind of thing, and it should have just been a
That's
co-op.
Fallout 76.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, the thing about Fallout 76, if we're gonna go on to that, is that was from their quote unquote B team, so it wasn't from the original makers of Fallout, which is why it kind of derailed and went kind of downhill.
I heard it was terrible.
It,
I mean, I played it. I don't think it was that bad. Like it wasn't
No.
Fallout, but like it was still enjoyable when I did play it.
The amount of bugs and everything that were in there, though, it was.
I played like 20 hours and never had any
ridiculous.
bugs.
Some guy actually made a video, I think 1,000+ bugs he found just on himself.
Oh damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like there was a ridiculous amount of bugs and just a lot of stipulation between everything that happened. It was an interesting time. Let's say that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never played any of the Fallout, so I don't really know like what differed from that one to this one. But I know like I used to see things like all over Reddit, like the game was like $30, and then like it was just like they were pretty much giving it away at one point.
Yeah,
They were like,
they
just
actually
take the
were.
copies of it. Like we don't even want them. Like you would buy an Xbox, and there would be like a rubber band around the Xbox with the copy of Fallout on it.
Actually, you're right.
Yeah, that's how that's
it
how
was-
bad it was.
I don't want to get into like the specifics, but there was a lot of things where they promised one thing and then they delivered the complete opposite, and then they promised one thing, deliver the complete opposite, and then their response to like saying, "Hey, we're sorry," was, "We'll give you the lowest amount of the in-game currency that we can have." You couldn't buy anything with that. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. You could buy one thing, and it was like it was like a wooden plank for your flooring that you barely ever use. Like it was just
You know they made a battle royale mode in that game.
yes, that was actually a lot better than
I played it. It was a lot of
76.
fun. It was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
I saw Shouty play it. So cool. But that
It
could
was
just
just
been
fun. I
Shouty.
enjoyed it. I played it for 2 days. A lot of fun.
Well, I thought I was watching Cops and Robbers, so outside the alarm went off for my neighbor's house, and the kid forgot the code. So he walked into the house, and it's
They thought he was robbing it.
yeah. So like he was sitting in there panicking, and then we always have a cop that's like nearby in our development, and he was just like, "What is going on?" Dude, so there was cops. There was a kid freaking out. Like,
Oh God.
so if
Oh,
you heard
boy.
if you heard any of that in the background, I apologize, but it was crazy. Just the whole thing was nuts. But it seems like they got it all figured out now. At least I hope so.
You're gonna get a knock on your door in a couple minutes.
Yeah, right.
Like, do you know this kid?
Yeah, like never seen him in my life. Yeah, so that's the life I was just living. But I came back in for the no exclusivity and the Fallout stuff. Fallout 3, absolutely loved it. Played
Best game. Oh my
Played
god, one of the best
every-
games I've ever played.
I played like every second, every quest, every level, 100,000
I
different
beat that
ways.
game countless number of times.
Yeah, I had all the expansions, beat those a million times. Like, just had so
Same.
much fun playing it. New Vegas, everybody said that was like the best
Also a great
one.
one.
New Vegas was so much fun.
I enjoyed New Vegas. Like, don't get me wrong, like New Vegas was good, but it just didn't hit the same that
It wasn't the same.
Fallout 3. It wasn't Fallout
Yeah.
3 for me.
It
Yeah.
was definitely different, but I enjoyed the difference. But I mean, it's gonna be a different game either way. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I can make sense with that, and I can deal with that, and I respect it. But yeah, when it comes to exclusivity, definitely hate that everything is exclusive now.
I hate that too. I think it's so stupid. Like everyone should just be playing like the same things if they want to. And with everything being cross-platform these days anyway, there's no reason to have exclusive games anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
No.
like who's buying an Xbox just for freaking Gears of War? No one.
Right. They give it away on their Game Pass.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah, but like,
it's just. I mean, I think all of it. You know, and I think we all know it's just a ploy for money. Always is going to
Yeah.
be that way. But like when Fortnite was doing that whole thing about like crossplay, and it just couldn't become crossplay for the long. And then all of a
because of
sudden,
PS4, yeah.
yeah, and then all of a sudden it was just like, oh, crossplay's fine, like everything's good. You know, it just shows you how like we're so connected now, and everything's so much more connected than it was before. It's just eventually it's going to get to the point where you can't do this. Like the fact that I can't play like Spider-Man or God of War or anything like that on an Xbox. Like I have to have a PlayStation and an Xbox to play all
Oh,
these.
you clearly
games.
need the superior system there, friend.
It's a PC right there, buddy boy.
I tend to agree on that one.
But
But funny that you mentioned like the cross-platform and everything. Apparently, I don't know, fact or false, whatever. But apparently, everything has been set up for the longest time. But Sony was the one who said we don't want to agree to that.
Yeah,
So
I heard
Xbox
the
and
same
PC
thing.
were okay with it, but Sony PS4 or whatever PlayStation did
That's
not
correct.
want to agree to that. So
But
it's kind of like
there's part of like I think it's like a kind of a two-part thing where I see both sides. Like, yes, would it be amazing to play with my Xbox friends? Oh yeah, like that's like majority of my friends growing up they had Xbox, but like I also see Sony's point of well, Xbox community is different than the Sony community, and we don't want this and we don't want that. Like, I think people are just too freaking sensitive nowadays. Like all of this, like video games provides violence. Like, no, it really doesn't. It's the way we grow up that provides the violence in the world. Like you can look at the European countries and they have the same exact games as us, and they don't have any of these violent crimes going on in their country. So like, I think Sony was kind of maybe a little hesitant to do it because of that aspect of it. But I mean, like realistically, cross-platform is probably one of the best things that could ever have happened to the gaming industry.
absolutely.
dude, that's 110% agree on that one. And I
mean,
think eventually everything is going to have to be connected, and with just everything with the consoles and everything working as well as they do, and being, you know, able to work crossplay. And now, you know, especially now with the move with Xboxes and PlayStation, like PlayStation's been it for a very long time, but Xbox allowing, you know, mouse and keyboard support, like showing that it's making that jump into that competitive scene by
Yeah,
that. Like,
I
think
disagree
that's
with that
funny.
stuff though. Like
I think that's
like
funny. Mm.
yeah, like I think that takes away from the console part. I think it's like a computer wannabe.
Well, that's
And
what-
it
I
hurts
mean-
the game as well. Like the reason
I mean, that's
being
what.
is you're playing with joysticks, and like honestly, it's a lot harder to play a shooting game on joysticks than it is with a mouse.
Right. But I mean,
Well, the reason I say I think it's funny is because people always say like, "Oh, PC's not as good as Xbox. I don't want to spend this much money." Like, it's
And
a,
I
it's a
have
whole
Xbox doing
big
this stuff.
it's a whole big concept. But for one, a console will never ever get the amount of frames and everything like that that a PC will. Period. And then they go and try to use mouse and keyboard support, and then be like, "Oh, well, I love this." Well, then just buy a PC. You don't have to update it for multiple years. For when Xbox One and 2 come out, you don't have to update it. So that's money there that you don't have to spend. It's a big old dealio, man.
I mean, I see it either way. I mean, I don't have $1,000 to spend on a gaming PC, but when, you know, $300 or $400, I can find that to put on to like an Xbox or something. So, I mean,
But then
PC
when you're
Master Race.
buying an Xbox, because if you're buying it years after it came out, then you're buying it outdated, quote unquote. Then you can get the same amount, maybe a little bit more pricey for a PC, but then you're lasting longer with the PC that you buy.
right,
So
Eh,
it's a lot of stipulation and I guess like price work and
right.
sales,
I
guess.
think at the end, yeah, at the end of the day, it's like something to each their own.
That's true. That's true.
I've loved my consoles and I love my PC. PC's you know, always been a little more fickle with me. There's always been like games that play better and everything like that, and I love playing them. But sometimes I have more issues on my PlayStation or on my PC than I do on my PlayStation or Xbox. So, you know, sometimes it's just easier for me if I just want to hop on real quick and play a little bit to just jump on a console, which is just sitting here in my living room rather than go into the den, turn the place, or like turn the computer on or get it going, So it's just, I guess it's just to each their own with when it comes to that, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that gap is slowly shrinking. Will it ever match what a PC can do? Probably not. I'd go even closer to saying definitely not. But
It's a hands down definitely not.
yeah,
Although the specs on the new PS5 that are rumored are actually pretty impressive.
yeah. I mean, even
It's
with,
not PC impressive though.
Yeah.
It's not, but it's impressive for what a
Okay.
console can do.
yeah, exactly. Like there's gonna be, there's always gonna be the limit to it because you got to make it a cost-effective system, but it's definitely gonna get more and more competitive, I guess I should say. Like, but like I said, it's going to be very hard, if not ever, going to be able to match it until they're selling, mid-range computers that are disguised as consoles.
I do think that PC, like more recently, is just getting insanely popular, and more people are more inclined to build a PC than buy a console these days.
And I feel
agree.
like part of that's because of the streaming aspect. Like,
Yes,
it's a lot
that's what I was
easier
just
stream
gonna say.
on the PC.
Mhm.
People
mean-
watch Twitch, and all these guys are on PC because they want like the good frame rates and whatnot, and it just makes like all the little kids that are watching it, and even some of the older crowd, like want a PC over a console.
I mean, that was a great time to get a PC because Ryzen just came out with their 3rd gen. Shout out to Ryzen, kill a sponsor. But yeah, it's phenomenal for their like money to performance to buck. Oh, it's amazing, hands down.
That's good. Well, I know after my wedding and everything, I'll actually have the money to build my own PC, and I really love that. But like, since I'm playing WoW Classic more often, like I have an older PC that I used to play tons of games on that I'm gonna just bring back up here. It's just sitting collecting dust at my mom's house. But maybe that'll jog some fun memories from back in the day, and I want to do it more, but we will see. I mean, that's everything that I think I wanted to touch on for today. Has anybody got anything they want to add to it? I know Mindless has been pretty happy today. I don't even think we'll put his name in the credits.
Wait a
So.
second.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I think that's about it that we all wanted to touch on for today.
I mean, that was pretty. Anything, any of you guys want to say really quick before we do our just episodic wrap up?
PC Master Race.
I would love to build a PC.
There you
I
go.
can't afford it.
Not
Help
yet.
building a PC. Reach out. We'll help you.
Yeah,
Truth.
yeah, we will.
I want one so bad, but it's just
Bro,
so
you can get a
expensive.
super cheap Ryzen processor right now. Oh,
True.
second gen too, so like it's even shorter. Or
Yeah,
not shorter, but
I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah, you're speaking Spanish.
Yeah, pretty much.
But all right, well, thank you for listening to the Town Hall Tuesdays. You get your Town Halls every Tuesday. I know that Waxy and Mindless's show, Patch Notes, comes out every Friday, and they've promised me that this Friday they will be getting something out, so that's great. And then Hitbox. When's the Hitbox come out? Thursdays.
correct.
All right, so tune into the Hitbox on Thursday. They announced their first episode last Thursday, so if you haven't heard it, please jump in on that and be
Hey.
prepared. Be prepared for this Thursdays. And then I
When are
think
you doing your lore podcast, bruh?
I don't know. I definitely gotta jump into that and
It's in the
pick
works.
that out.
It's in the works.
Yeah. That probably won't be a weekly podcast. That'll probably be like bi-weekly or something that
Well-
comes out once a month. But
Little special edition.
yeah, a little something like that. But I will be exploring the lore of games, from what I had to do while playing Destiny and stuff and getting the pieces together. So we'll do like multiple part series on certain things like that people really don't know about. Like I'll be doing the WoW version where, the Defius Brotherhood Like, why are they bad? Why did they take over Dead Mines? Things like that. And then going into Destiny, like, what's the light? What's the darkness? Things like that. So kind of the inner workings and stories of certain games and certain characters, as well as the interesting stories that come about when creating games. Like some games, there's sometimes multiple games that come out that seem eerily similar. And you always wonder, like, why did these games seem so similar? And some of them come from the same script. So like two companies bought one script and kind of put their own little spin on it. So, I'm definitely going to go into that. And then me and Guzzy have our show on the gaming industry, which did we decide what day that's coming out on Wednesdays?
We could do Wednesdays. I should probably put it ready for Wednesday.
Yeah, so that comes out on Wednesdays, and that's me and Guzzy just talking about the gaming industry and esports and what we kind of see going on in the sector and what we feel about it. Our next episode is going to be gambling and esports and gaming, so that'll definitely be an interesting one. And I can't wait to share some of what I've found out with you guys. And I think that's it for us here at the Gaming Grounds Podcast Network. Be sure to reach out to us, tell us what you think, give us those likes, those comments, those hit the subscribe buttons. And Kyle, let everybody know what streaming services they can find us on.
Anchor.fm, Spotify. I just reapplied to Apple Podcasts because I don't think I did it right the first time, and Google Podcasts.
There you go. So you can
Pretty
probably
much anywhere.
you can pretty much find us anywhere your
And
podcast
SoundCloud.
can be found, and SoundCloud for Waxy and Emila's rapping career when that goes off.
Correct.
It'll be soon. We got something in the works. Got a song coming out.
All right. Well, from everybody here, thank you, and we will see you next week on Town Hall Tuesdays.
Bye-bye.
Bye.